Good morning, everybody and anybody. Today's video is going to be very out of the ordinary. I don't usually talk about these kinds of things on a normal, typical moto vlog. It's usually motorcycle related, but today I'm going to talk about depression. And no, the cure for depression is not a motorcycle. Unfortunately, I wish it was, but I wanted to share a little bit of my experience because depression is something that's basically becoming much more common than I think it used to be. If it used to be this common, it just wasn't expressed. I don't know how that works. But I wanted to share just a little bit about my personal experience with depression and what I have found that has helped me. Now, what kind of sparked this is I watch Everride, and he recently did a vlog talking about depression and how he deals with things. And I got to thinking that, maybe this is just another way that I might be able to help people out in some way. And just a little bit of recap and stuff. Everride kind of talks a lot about how depression makes you feel. Wanting to end it all, feeling like a failure, even though you know that those kinds of things aren't true. And so I don't want to make a video on basically what depression is necessarily, but more of like just a helpful video. And if this isn't your thing, you don't have to watch the video. I wouldn't blame you, but if you're looking for any ways to cope with any depression that you might have, hopefully that you can maybe benefit just a little bit from this, maybe even a lot. So I used to have quite a bit of a problem with depression, and depression comes in a lot of forms, and mine particularly was a distorted thinking, which is a pretty common form, where everything just seems like it's pointless. There's no real reason to do anything. What I basically felt like, to sum it up, was I felt like a kid on a playground, basically like on the playground of life. It's as if somebody brought me to the playground of life where you come to live, and I told them, it was as if I wanted to go up to them and just say, I'm ready to go home. I don't want to play anymore. I'm not having fun, not enjoying this at all, and so I just want to go home. And I don't know if you can actually get like the full scope of that and how that feeling might be, but that's kind of how I felt. And so I talked to my doctor. It got bad enough. I went to my doctor and I was like, man, I need something to, because this is just weird. It was starting to affect my family and stuff in some real negative ways. And so as much as I didn't want to, I went and I talked to my doctor about it, and I was like, man, I need something. And he prescribed me some medication to take, and the medication did work for my mood. It gave me, everybody knows that there's possibility of side effects, and I had some serious bathroom problems with the side effects from what I was taking. I don't remember what it was, but eventually I went back to my doctor to see if there was something else that I could get on, because I was just tired of taking it and having those issues. And so he put me on something else. And this time he kind of started asking a bit more questions about my diet, which he did ask the first time, but I just didn't pay any attention to it. And so he started talking to me about my diet. He started mentioning comfort foods. Now, to me, comfort foods have always, when someone says comfort foods, I always think of like ice cream, cake, candy, things like that, but that is not what he was getting at. And he felt like we should just start addressing my diet, to which I still really didn't pay a lot of attention to. But he put me on a different medication, and that medication made me just flat out angry, like flat out rageful. And so I stopped taking it right away and gave more consideration to this diet thing. Now, the things that he wanted me to change on my diet was to lower the carb intake. And this is not promoting any type of low carb diet or any type of fad diet or anything, or any type of governmental conspiracy. This is just what I tried, and it has helped me. And what has helped me the most is basically cutting out a lot of the carbs. And I didn't actually realize it until he mentioned it that I ate a gob of carbs. I loved junk food. Junk food was my deal. But the thing is that I never thought it was that big of an issue, because I would go all day. I would wake up in the morning. I would drink usually a cup of coffee, and then I would go get things done that I needed to get done. And I would get so occupied that I wouldn't eat breakfast. I wouldn't eat lunch. And for dinner, I would eat junk food. But I always kind of figured that since I skipped the other 2 meals, that it wasn't so bad. I have since seen the faulty thinking there. But after he basically said you need to cut the carbs way down, possibly even like no carbs, and see how you feel. Now what I'm doing is somewhat close to the ketogenic diet, which is all the rave right now. I am not doing a ketogenic diet. I still do eat carbs, but I eat very little of them. But I also do seek out a lot of high-fat foods. And as depressing as it sounds, and I was extremely depressed when I decided that that's what I had to do, I was extremely depressed because on my way back home from the doctor, I was like, wow, no burgers, no pizza, no French toast, no biscuits and gravy. I mean, this is all stuff that I lived off of. No soda. I was extremely addicted to soda. I walked into the grocery store across from the doctor's office, and I had a Mountain Dew before I met with the doctor. That was the last soda that I drank. I went home. Any soda that I had, I threw directly in the garbage. And I'll tell you this much, out of all the things that I miss the most, soda is one of the least. But I got rid of all of that stuff in my diet. I started looking at very high-fat foods and like good fats. You've got to do your research, and you've got to find what a good fat is and what a bad fat is. And so I eat a lot of that. I don't eat very many carbs. And I tell you what, it has cured more than just depression for me. That type of diet has cured my depression, stomach issues, like bloated stomachs after you eat. Like I can breathe after I eat now. Before I couldn't breathe after I ate. My teeth don't hurt anymore. I have very few headaches anymore. I've got a lot more energy. My asthma, because I usually have asthma, so my asthma is basically gone. I have not used my inhaler whatsoever since I've been on this diet, and before I would have had to use it every day. My overall mood has improved a lot, and I don't miss those type of foods near as much as I thought I was going to. And I've also lost about 30 pounds, and that's not even adding any type of exercise or anything. That's just change in the diet. But it has benefited me in so many ways. I wanted to share it for anybody that might want to give it a shot, because that's the only thing, one of the only things that I have found that works. And you know what? You might get some people saying that, you know what? The ketogenic diet, which I try to stick close to a ketogenic diet. I'm just not as strict with that. But some people will say, no, you can't do a ketogenic diet. You're going to have all kinds of health problems and stuff. And you need to get off of that diet. Me personally, I don't think the ketogenic diet is a bad diet. I don't think that the low-carb diet is a bad diet. I think that the traditional American high-carb feeding that most do on a regular basis is a bad diet. But a person kind of has to prove that to themselves. Do a little bit of research. Do a little bit of research on the ketogenic diet. Now, it's not for everybody, but I just wanted to share what has worked for me with the depression and everything. So that was it today. I know it's definitely a different type of vlog than usual, but I just wanted to share that. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I hope it helped you out a little bit. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.